another week, another night. So I have bought myself a snorkel. Since I'm painting all the garden in this area, I thought I might as well make the most of putting one of these on while I'm doing all this. I'm mainly doing for performance side of things because I heard they actually make the engine breathe a bit better. But still, if I'm on a road trip or in a remote place and it's somewhat high off water, I can still go through it. So I'm trying to figure out this ridiculous pattern. Been trying to get on here to fit and get the right markings, but as you can see, this does not line up for the guard. The only thing that does line up is the edge of that guard, but not at the top. And when I put it on there, it's still not even in the right place. So it's a bit of a headache, but I'm trying to rectify it and sort out where I've got to put the marks. Done these, but it sort of feels like it's too low. I'm going to have to pull them off and try and move it up, because underneath the snorkel it has a bit of a swage, so it's got to meet with that, and drill a big hole in the front. Just been drilling the nervous holes in the guard. I'm hoping these in the right spot, and just done 2 hole saws because it's an elongated hole to fit in that long piece there. So I'm just going to get the cut off wheel and trim that off flat, and then trim off that, and then the whole lot be nice, and clean up the edges, and then that will be it done. And then it's going to go through that hole there and up into it. The factory intake I just pulled out, that actually goes, that's where the air gets sucked in. And it sits up in there behind the guard. Big baffle on the top there, reduce the noise. Rubbish now. Just been stripping back the front bumpers, just so they can be primed up. So I just stripped back all the old primer and the flaky paint that was on it, because we painted it on the car and painted up to the flares, so there's a straight line there. And where that big dent piece was, where that front nudge bar was, they just painted up to that too, so that's all gone, feathered out. And also my snorkel, I started installing it last night, and this one is out of shape. It's like got a curve that way instead of following the guard, which is the opposite way. And well, you can see it's in the right spot there. The swage meets up the swage there, and hooks around the mirror there, but only there is a gap because it's out of shape. Therefore this does not meet up to the right spot either, it's out of angle. So looking at that should be going up a bit more, so it meets onto here, but only it doesn't. It's hard down on the door. So I've been in contact with the guy who sold it to me, and I've had like 1 email back, and I'll respond to him this morning. He still hasn't replied. Yeah, so not good in that department. If he doesn't come to the party, I'm going to have to heat it up and try and bolt it up so it sort of retains its shape, and then let it cool, and then heat this corner here up, and then just gently try and tweak that up so it's in a semi-right position. But the fact is I shouldn't be having to do that at all. It should be just a bolt up kind of thing. So we'll see how we get on there. Just starting my rear bumper. You can see it's all a bit dented in there, where someone's bogged on the outside. Can't see it there, but I'm going to smash it out so there's no bog in there. Yeah, you can see it's all flaky. So I'm going to strip all this back like this, so it can be primed and painted. Just working on the rear bumper. This is the one that had all the bog in it, which I pulled out. So I just sanded it all up, and stripped all the paint off the bottom where it's all chipped through and had little rust spots. And I've done the same on this one. And I've just taken off the rust up the top there underneath the step and sanded this one back. Working on the silver bits tonight, sending these right back. I've done all these ones so far, and just start on the next front flare. Must have been replaced before because it's been sprayed straight over the plastic. It's still shiny underneath, so it's just blowing off the air gun. So I have to try and strip off as much as I can back to the plastic on this one so that it bites in. Crazy. Finally just finished sanding all the silver parts for my surf. Bit of a mission. It's taken quite a few evenings and a lot of time just stripping back all the old paint and primer that was on top, which a lot of it wasn't really bound very good. Some of it's quite shiny underneath. Some of it just blew off the air gun too. So yeah, next few days I'll end up getting these all primed up so it looks into the roof. Front nudge bar cover there too. And then it would just be a matter of sanding down all the primer on everything and getting it ready for paint after that. Just got all my parts in the paint booth tonight. Giving a bit of a primer. Just put all the plastic primer on the plastic parts and about to etch the steel parts and then prime them up. Just finished priming about half an hour ago. So these just going to cure overnight and then I'll move them out in the morning. Going pretty good. And then the fun task of sanding again. At least this time won't be so hard. Won't be stripping back all the layers of paint. We'll be just sanding the primer. Surf is all sanded down now, all 400 grit and 600 in the lower, and then I'm just going to go back over the top in these lower guards with 600 as well on top. Just going to leave the top at 400 grit because no one sees it, because when you paint it you can see sanding marks sometimes with sink back. So I'm just going to do a blend down here. Rear guards are all done. Possibly might do these rear doors, I'm not too sure yet, to see what the colour's like. And yep, all tops all sanded. Just on the rear guard, popped out the petrol flap and popped this little boot out so I can paint them right in there. And yeah, all sanded. Only sanding down to here because that's where the flare sort of goes up to that line there. It's all sanded down here. And I just got to pull the headlights out and pull that blue filler panel at the front off. So I'll just paint that as well, just to keep it clean with the front bumper and the guards. And I'm just going to buff up that bonnet. It's dirty. Hope it comes up good. The surf just got painted this morning by my painter at work. So it's looking pretty sharp. I painted it on a Saturday morning, so that's why I wasn't here. And he masked it up yesterday. on Friday. But yeah, looking pretty smart for after the gun finish. So yesterday my painter at work, he painted all my bits and pieces, my mirrors, fuel flap, the covers that go underneath the headlight, or little trims I should say, front mirror for the guard, caps for the spoiler, my handles, and my mirror bases, so they're looking smick. So that's all the blue done now, so it's time to start working on the silver. So I guess you're halfway. Standing up bits for my silver at the moment. Long and tedious work. You don't think about this when you are going to paint something, do you? But you got to sand it, prime it, then resand it, and then paint it. So it's quite a lengthy process, time consuming. So those are the front flare caps on the front bumper, mud flaps, rear corners of my bumper, my rear bumper, and the front nudge bar cover. It has the spotlights and the light bar underneath it. Here we are, another weekend. Here's all the silver bits all sanded up. We're ready to get prepped up and put in the paint booth, and my painter is going to come in and spray them for me. So yeah, it's a lot of silver bits. So yeah, now it's time to clean out the booth and clean off all these, prep solder them all up and get them all masked up, the bits that need to be masked, and let him come to his magic. There you go, it's all painted. So the painter just come in late this afternoon after prepping all these up, and it's just gone around and painted these. It's kind of pretty mean, nice finish on everything. Quite a mission to set everything up and try and get through everything without like making adequate room to move around. Just started piecing away my surf tonight. Just put the lower sill cover on and started bolting up the rear bumper. So a heap of rust proofing up there while it was all off. And cavity wax up in the chassis rails. So yeah, I'm about to put these corner sections of the bumper on, and yeah, put the step on. And that should be the back sort of complete around that area. Tail lights in another night, got the spoiler on. And put cavity wax all up around these things on the inside too, to prevent any future rusting. Bumper's all on and looking good. Just gotta put the mud flaps on to complete it. Some bling, and put the little sill covers on both sides. Flare gaskets are just tuned up for the surf. So these are Mitsubishi ones actually off a Triton, but they have the same profile as the surf ones, and these are like $13 plus GST each times 4, whereas the surf ones are like $250 plus GST plus freight, so that's a big saving. So I'll cut these to length and put them on. Mint. Also got double-sided tape on them already. Just cutting the flare gasket to suit. So it just comes in a roll like that. And yeah, I've just chopped it. As you can see, looks pretty good. It's nice and fresh. Just got to do the front ones. But yeah, just on this side, and I'm about to do this last one here for the night before I go home. Just on the front flare, or I should say trim, and it's rear flare. So that, yeah, certainly looks good. Better than the old crappy oversprayed brittle flares, gaskets I should say. So yeah, coming along nicely, and soon I'll be able to put the handles in and the door trims on. Just got all my handles in last night, both sides, and tonight I am assembling my mirrors up. So I've got all my screws and all that, and plugs, electrical plugs to fit up, because I have to pull that plug out to get it through this hole and through that tight little hole. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'll just pull it apart. We have a couple of pieces, and then the base and the body. Just mounted the mirrors up, so it looks nice and shiny, not all corroded like before. Now I'm just putting the flare gasket on this front flare, and I'll stick this on the front guard. Mounting up the snorkel, so it's gone back to its original shape since I last heated it up. So I've just heated it up again and cranked up all the bolts. And now I'm about to hook up all the internal bits. So I just got a pipe that comes in off the snorkel, it hooks around onto this, there's the intake into the turbo, it fills in there. And I've also got the bumpers out here, one piece, the other one's in the back shed out there, which I'm going to assemble and put together so we can put it on the front and put this flare back on. So the side's looking reasonable. Snorkel's all properly fitted now, so it's all nice and tidy. It's got some little rib nuts in there, and yeah, nice and snug. Got a bit of foam under there, so it's got a bit of insulation between the snorkel and the actual guard. Just got the flare on, new gasket on there, and assembled the bumper up. Got the new gasket on there, and yeah, just bolted it up. So just put the indicators in, redo the grille, and that should be the front pretty much done. Just been assembling up my front bull bar and putting the light bar on and the fog lamps on top. So I'm just assembling it up like this, and then I can slip it all into one unit. When I pulled it off, I pulled it off in bits and pulled the lights off separately, and then the cover and then the bar. But now that it's all fitting right, I can just bolt on as one unit. And I've just got to finish doing the top panel that goes along through there. It's got a break in it, so I'm just been fixing it. And got to hook it onto here and hook the wiring up. Right, nudge bar is all on, the lights all hooked up. Took a bit of a mission to get that on there by myself. Some nice gaps. Got all the flares all screwed up underneath finally. I'm putting that job off. And I have been putting the mud flaps on. around the rear wiper. There's a little bit of rust, so I just cleaned that out and put some rust neutralizer on it to kill it, and just brushed it. Surface pretty much all done now, apart from this black strip that goes in the front. I've just replaced it at the grill. It's not good. And I've just been doing a little bits and pieces at the back there, putting the new tow trailer plug on there. The old one's a bit broken. It's all dusty at the moment. That's a little insert for the nudge bar, which I painted up. Yeah, I had to do a repair down there because it snapped when I pulled it off. It's all looking good now though. Just set in black. Yeah, just gave it a brief vacuum. Still need to blow it out properly for the air gun because there's so much dust in here from having the windows out and doors open and the rear windows out. What else have we been doing? Fixed up a little bit of rust around the rear wiper. The tailgate wasn't painted, so I just ground it out and put some rust colour on it and brushed it the same colour. Still got some cavity wax on there at the moment, but that's just to keep it at bay. I don't get too fussy with that because it's behind the spare wheel. You don't see it. Yeah, so new trailer plug at the back, reverse light. It's looking tidy, new bolts under there, and new bolts in the whole bumper actually. Some new rivets on the flares there. Gaskets are all looking mint. And new rivets. So there's still quite a bit of work to do, just tidying off little bits. Go, so it's all done. Just gave it a good clean up outside, gave it a wash, tried to clean the wheels the best I could, and just stuck on that strip at the front there. So I pulled the tape off in the morning, and then tomorrow I'll take it for a Warner Fitness. So she's looking pretty sharp now, pretty tidy.